that look about right?
That's opener?
That's opener. So opener has 14 points, and you would have opened a club, right, with 5 clubs to the ace.
Mhm.
But you do have 3 spades to the ace. Now, this is not, if you look at these two hands together, by the way, this game is not guaranteed. It's not a bad game to be in, but it's not cold either, right? We can already tell that we're off the 8 cashing ace king of diamonds. And we need to find the queen of spades maybe, which may or may not be finessable. I like my chances for 10 tricks, though. I mean, this is a game I would like to be in. If the defense plays on their diamonds, they'll set up a diamond winner for you, and you could throw one of dummy's clubs away or something like that. But if you think about if we're going to be in game on these two hands, would you rather be in 4 spades or would you rather be in 3-no? I think I would rather be in 4 spades.
Me too.
Right. Because what happens, now you've had kind of an informative auction here, right? What if you have a similar auction to begin, but you end up in 3-no? Well, what's the defense do? Well, they probably lead an unbid suit, right? So what if they lead diamonds? And they go ace of diamonds, king of diamonds, and they knock out your diamond stopper, right? Now, the moment you give up the lead on this hand, you may be in trouble, right? So what if you take your spade finesse and it loses, and they score their queen of spades, and now they cash a few more diamonds on you? That could be a problem, right?
Oh, yeah.
On the other hand, if you play 4 spades, you can actually lose the queen of trump and still come to 10 tricks. So hopefully this serves as an example as to why you would rather be in your 5-3 fit. Now again, the cards could lie very friendly, and you might have the exact same tricks available to you in no trump. Or maybe you play no trump and maybe they don't lead a diamond. Maybe they lead hearts instead of diamonds, and you've got hearts double stop, so your timing is preserved a little better for no trump there. By the time they find the diamond switch, maybe you have your spade set up or your club set up or however you're attacking the hand. So I'm not suggesting that 3-no is a bad game, but 4 spades here is the best game. And so that's the one we want to get you to. And playing new minor forcing will ensure that you don't miss your 5-3 spade fit here. All right, well, let's look at some other things that opener can do. Because you're not always going to be able to oblige partner by supporting the major that responder has bid, right? Opener could have a doubleton spade, in which case you're going to need to find a different call, right? Well, what are some other options here? Well, we could do this, right? We're talking about the possibility of a 4-4 heart fit existing. May or may not have a 4-4 heart fit, but opener, you can still show the hearts, right? If you don't have 3 spades, it doesn't hurt to show your 4 hearts, does it? Even if you end up in 3-no eventually. Is there any harm? Not really. I mean, you make a bid, you say something about your hand that the opponents get to find out about too, but in the event that responder has 4 hearts, you probably want to do this. Now we're going to come back to this, dealing with this situation when you have both, in just a few minutes, because that question may be lingering. All right, opener. What if you do that? What do we know about opener's hand now?
Doesn't have 2 spades.
Denies 3 spades
Denies 4.
and denies 4 hearts, right?
Right, and a balance, is that balance?
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you did rebid a no trump, so we trust that you're balanced, and you're still bidding no trump, so we trust that you're still balanced, right? So, yeah, this is still helpful to responder.
Is that promising a stopper in hearts?
How about diamonds?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, much like our no trump openings, we can't absolutely guarantee an honor in every suit. But you probably have something in that suit. You probably have a little something in the unbid suits. But if the question is, what would I do that? Well, let's switch this hand right here. Let's say that's my hand. Does it fit the auction? Yeah. I think so. I mean, you happen to have a couple of honors and diamonds. You've got the king of hearts.
You wouldn't rebid your 5-card club suit?
Well, now that's an interesting question. Would we?
I don't know. That's why I
you
asked.
Because this is it is possible to rebid your minor. Now,
That's not.
could you, would you, should you? Dr. Seuss should really have a bridge book. Could you, would you with a void? Yeah, you could do this, and that would definitely say to partner, I have a 5-card suit. We're pretty sure it's not a 6-card suit, otherwise you would have rebid 2 clubs rather than 1 no the first time, right? On your first rebid? So you could do that. The only thing that makes this a little tricky is, you're probably fine with it here because you have 14, right? So if partner is invitational, you'd be accepting the invitation, right? I mean, if you don't have a major fit, but you're gonna play a game, you're playing 3-0 anyhow, right? So 3 clubs doesn't really do any harm if partner's gonna end up taking you back to no trump. I think maybe let's see here. Let's change this hand around just a little bit.
But if partner had more than 11, he would have done probably 2/1, and
Well, but remember, partner can't do 2/1. We're going back to what we talked about at the very beginning,
Yeah.
right? There's no 2/1 available for
Because
responder on
he
a hand
only
like this.
has 11, right? So.
Right, but even if we add
I-
another queen to this hand, right? Aren't you always starting with a spade response?
Yeah.
There is no 2/1.
Right.
There's never a 2/1 when partner opens a club, right?
Fine, but, I mean, I'm just thinking as the opener, he's given invitational, so I only have 14, and invitational, need 29 to do clubs. Why would I go there?
That's only 13.
So opener has 13 now.
Yeah,
So, but I mean, this is a fair question. Would you rebid 3 clubs with that hand?
I think I would. Because
Yeah,
I
with
don't
those-
know, there's not a real good stopper for
Ugly
diamonds.
With those diamonds, I would.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you don't know where partner's points are, right? I mean, your partner bid a spade, you're looking at the ace of spades, partner's gotta have some values outside of the spade suit. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe 3 clubs pinpoint. Now, the thing is, partner doesn't know, if you now are avoiding no trump a little bit, partner doesn't necessarily know whether it's diamonds you're worried about or hearts you're worried about. So we may have to do some more probing. This would keep, in this situation here, looking at these 2 hands together, we clearly have an issue in the diamond suit for no trump, right?
If he bid 3 clubs, what would you bid over here?
What would I bid over here? I would probably bid 3 hearts and see if I could get partner to bid 3 now.
Yeah.
Because I already know we don't have a spade fit. So, and look, this may be one of those hands that, and this will happen on occasion. You know, if 3-no doesn't look attractive because you are wide open in the diamond suit, and 5 clubs doesn't really look attractive, right? Because you need 11 tricks there, and we're already chalking up 2 losers in the diamond suit. Yeah, we could rough the 3rd round of diamonds, but
Go to 3.
then you've got to take the rest of the tricks, right? And
Yeah.
you're missing the queen of clubs.
Go back to.
You might have a heart to lose. Can we get the spade set up? I don't know. I don't really want to play 5 clubs on a hand like this.
No. 3,
Right.
3 spades. 3 spades.
Yeah.
3 spades.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you ever think about playing a 5-2 spade fit on a hand like this?
Sure.
Might be the best game.
Absolutely.
So, so you can see, just using new money, and like, you know, I mean, we're kind of leaving aside the discussion of, well, what's best or what's right with these hands. But do you see that this is all happening because we're playing new minor?
Mm-hmm.
We're not guessing. We're not just bidding 2-no or 3-no and guessing. Now, of course, when we don't guess and we continue to exchange information, yes, we give that information to the defenders too. You know, it's not, we are exposing more about our hands. On the other hand, if that keeps us out of a bad game, gets us to the best game, or maybe in some cases we choose not to bid a game, you know, what if you didn't like the way this was going and you stopped at 4 clubs? All right, it seems a little cowardly. It's not my style. On the other hand, if there's no making game, you know, sometimes on a hand like this, you can be a hero, you know, and you play 4 clubs making exactly 4 and everybody else is going set and 3-no. And you're like, yeah, we had this great auction. We used new minor. We probed a little bit. We didn't find a major fit. We didn't want to be in 5 clubs. We decided to pull the ripcord, and we went plus 130, and everybody else went minus 100. So, you know, this definitely allows you to be more scientific with your auctions. Now, I don't have a problem with a 3 club bid here to show the 5th club and maybe suggest that you're not in love with no trump, even though you earlier bid no trump, but you kind of had to do that, right? I mean, you had to show that you were a balanced move. So, I tend most of the time to do this, but you know, I'm kind of a throw caution to the wind on some of these. You know, hopefully partner has help in the diamond suit, or maybe the opponents lead a heart instead of a diamond, and they don't figure it out right away. So I probably tend to do that. You know, like I said, maybe a little bit, not very reckless, but a little bit reckless. But you know, I don't always like to, you know, I like, it's kind of like what we talked about when we were doing inverted minors. And people always ask the question on inverted minors. Well, when you start with an inverted minor auction, does opener always have both majors stopped when they rebid 2-no? Some people do. In my universe, if I have at least one of them stopped, and maybe even just like a partial stopper, like Jack third or Queen Doubleton is something that we would call like a partial stopper. If I have that, yeah, that usually is good enough. Because I just kind of feel like, you know, my hand's balanced, it's the best description of my hand, and the defense still has to figure out which major they're supposed to be leading, so. But I'm fine with either one. Now, notice there is something a little bit different that can happen on a very similar auction. And in this case, I would definitely change the way you conduct it, but this is a matter of bidding space. All right, now notice I just gave you the exact same hand. I just gave you a 5-card diamond suit instead of a 5-card club suit. And let's look at these 2 hands together. How do we see the auction going? Okay, well, over here you're opening a diamond, right?
Yep.
Responder is still saying 1 spade. You're still rebidding 1 no, with your 13 high card points in your balanced hand, right? So now, this hand still wants to look for a 5-3 spade fit, right? So the bid is now 2 clubs. You happen to have 3 clubs to the king, but again, that 2 clubs is potentially completely artificial. Partner, tell me more. Partner, do you have 3 spades? Do you have 4 hearts? Well, how do you feel about doing this now? See, that's kind of nice because that you can do at the 2 level, right? You can show your extra diamond length and you haven't even carried on past 2-0, right? So if your partner is just inviting, which they are doing with this hand here, and you've denied having what they might be looking for in the majors, now they can go back to 2-0, right? Whereas the auction we looked at before, when you bid 3 clubs, you were pretty much forced to 3-0, right? Well, at least here you have an option. Do you want to stop at 2-0 or do you want to try 3-0?
Isn't it up to the responder, like if he has enough for game, he should just jump to 3-0?
Yeah, I mean, clearly responder can't force the game if they're bidding 2-0 here, right? They're probably showing about 11 or maybe 12. So here, the decision is going to be left to the opener, right?
On that bid after the opener's 3rd bid, isn't that where the opener defines his hand within 1 point? 12 or 13, he bids the cheapest bid, and 14 he does a jump?
Well, if you're supporting partner's major, you would jump. But do we even know exactly how we feel about opener's hand here? I mean, you're right in the middle, right? This is a tough hand. You know, when we look at, and we're thinking, you know, okay, well, how do we like this hand if we play no trump? How do we like opener's hand there on the left? If we figure that our partner has 11 or maybe 12 with 5 spades, and we have 13, so we're kind of right in the middle, right? I mean, we have the perfectly ordinary opening minimum. How good is that hand? You know, I mean, and we're thinking about no trump, right? We're thinking about, yeah, how do we like our chances to take 9 tricks? Well, we have a 5-card diamond suit. So, you know, usually a 5-card suit is a plus. On the other hand, when we look at these 2 hands together, you've got some work to do to get that suit set up, right? Because you only have 5 diamonds to the ace-jack.
Your opponents have 6 diamonds.
And partner has 2 little, yeah. So we're missing king, queen, and 10 here. So it may take some work to get that diamond suit set up. And by the way, you know, those diamond losers aren't the only losers you have on this hand. I mean, you clearly have a club or maybe 2 to lose. Yeah. Can you come to 9 tricks? I mean, this is iffy. Now, I will tell you that if you are playing bridge with the big shots, if you're playing a flight a Swiss or and certainly any kind of team game, maybe even some degree with match point games, but definitely any kind of team game where that premium on bidding your games. Yeah, you only have 24 points together, but I'm telling you, the experts are in 3-0 on these cards, always. And whether it makes or not, if they are not in 3-0 on these cards, they're mad. They want to be in this game. Now, it looks like kind of a thin game to all of us here, and you know, definitely totally reasonable to stay out of it, especially at match points. But that's just, you know, hyper aggressive, you know, expert bidding. They're gonna play 3-0 with 24 points all the time. They're gonna play 3-0 with 23 points a lot of times. I mean, if you ever get a chance on Bridge Base or something like that, and you kibitz any of these big events that they show on ViewGraph, you're gonna be like, they're in 3-0 on those cards? I'm like, oh yeah. They don't care if they're down 1. They want to be in that game. So, you know, I mean, we can only be so scientific, right? So, you know, I don't feel too strongly like if you have a couple of hands like this, whether you stop in 2-no or you get to 3-no, I don't feel strongly either way. I think either decision is totally reasonable. You know, and sometimes you're just like turning your head and seeing what, you know, the little character on your shoulder is telling you to do, what's being whispered, you know. I mean, sometimes it may come down to, you know, I got a bad feeling about this one. That's all right. You know, they said we can't be completely scientific about everything in bridge, even though we would like to be. And I'm fine with exercising a little instinct on these. But I think the important thing is we had an intelligent auction. Whether we got to 2-no or 3-no on these cards, we had a good auction, right? And either destination is fine. You know, I never want people worrying too much about results, and I was thinking about, and I don't know how many of you saw this, but Tom sent me a hand the other day. And it was a situation where the opening bidder had a no trump opening, and the responder had 11 points, but it was a nice 11 points because it was a 7-card spade suit to the ace-king and an ace on the side. And it was a hand that made 12 tricks. And so basically Tom's question was, do we have a reasonable way to get to this slam? And frankly, it's not an easily biddable slam. And you could go through all the gyrations and all the methods and have all the science in the world, but you're not going to find out that the no trump bidder just has the perfect 17 count that pretty much ensures that this contract is cold. And you lose the ace of clubs and that's it. And so, you know, what I was trying to say, and hopefully this came across, was that don't feel bad about missing a slam like that. You happen to have 12 tricks, but realistically, can you get there without guesswork? No. You might blast it out and take a shot, and then maybe it'll work or maybe it won't. You know, but I think the when you have, what I find about, you know, like the hands like that, when you have a borderline slam, especially if you're just playing like a club duplicate kind of thing, I usually stay on the conservative side, because while if the slam makes you get a top board because nobody's there, the problem is if it fails, now you get a 0. And if you just play your game and you take 12 tricks on the hand, you're in 4 spades making 6, you never get hurt, right? I mean, it's okay to just have an average result and kind of stay with the rest of the room on hands like that. So